Arizona's in first place right now. They win this game tonight, they have a huge leg up. Huge. Because they will be in first place by themselves. Obviously, the Rams have an opportunity to tie them on Monday night against a Buccaneers team that has had trouble, as we talked about with Bruce Arians earlier this week, winning on a Sunday or a Monday night. They have not played very well under the lights this year, although they did win against the Giants on Monday Night Football a couple weeks ago, but did need a little help from the football gods late. Arizona would sweep Seattle with a win tonight. Now then, what can the Seahawks do? Well, they can get Carlos Hyde back on that field. With all due respect to DJ Dallas, not the same when Hyde runs the ball, or Chris Carson, who will not go tonight, I don't believe. But it does appear Tyler Lockett will go.
Yes.
Despite having some missed time on a practice field this week. It's a short week. If you miss time on a practice field on a Wednesday, it just gives you an indication of what things would look like, certainly in a short week. But it's also something in a short week, like we're just not going to put you on the practice field. And we know that you can go out there and do it anyway, certainly against an opponent that you saw just 3 weeks ago. So maybe that could be a difference maker. You know DK Metcalf, who, as we know, in the previous game, ran down Budda Baker. You know he's pissed because last week he got 2 targets. You know Russ is going to get him cooking earlier. Mm-hmm. You know that DK Metcalf is going to show up tonight, and they need him to. I mean, they absolutely got to ride. You got to, and that's where we are. We're in the part of the season where rubbers meet in the road, where that win that's up for grabs is huge. It gets bigger and bigger every week, and the tendencies that the first few weeks have shown, yeah, you can try and break them, or you can feed them, and you have to, because you got to get your playmakers going, and you got to get somebody like DK Metcalf on that board tonight, and I look to see that tonight. And the neat part about this is it's not just Russ on the field, and then it's Kyler on the field, and then it's Kyler on the field, and it's Russ on the field. The 2 top wide receivers in the game today, you could say, are DeAndre Hopkins and DK Metcalf. They're 2 and 3 in the receiving yards list right now of this season. Stephon Diggs leads that, but he's also played one more game than these 2 teams. Both Arizona and Seattle have had their bye weeks. Buffalo's on its bye week right now. You've got 2 of the best in the game on the field. And DeAndre Hopkins is coming off of the play of the year that knocked DK Metcalf's play of the year out of the leader position in the clubhouse on that front. How will they look following up tonight? DeAndre Hopkins is not, by the way, that Hail Murray grab was his first touchdown since that moment where Kyler Murray smiled and flung him one,
right,
knowing that the coverage was so advantageous that he didn't even take the time to put his fingers on the strings. That was the last time DeAndre Hopkins scored a touchdown. Now, they did have a bye week in between 2 games, but it had been a month since he scored when he did on Sunday. Whole country talking about that play, and fantasy football rubber is meeting the road on that front too. And you know, every league, 100% ownership of the 4 names that I've mentioned. Murray, Russ, DK, DeAndre, Tyler Lockett, throw him in there too. 100% ownership. So the level of interest is off the charts as it's week 11. Desperation setting in the virtual fantasy football world for so many. I know tonight I've got in one league, by the way, in 2 leagues, DK, DeAndre, and Kyler. We made those decisions, Chris, a long time ago. For a Week 11 contest like this. And I don't know. Do you want... It doesn't... And this is the irrationality of fantasy football, okay? Yep. This is how irrational it is. The points come when they're going to come.
Yep.
Okay? The points are going to, by the end of Week 11, be totaled up, and you will either win or lose.
But...
Doesn't matter when they come, because there's no such thing as momentum in fantasy football. There's no such thing. Okay? You can't ride a hot Thursday night to victory but you can watch it totally get
I
eviscerated.
hate having guys on Thursday Night Football.
I don't know why.
I hate it.
It doesn't matter.
I know it doesn't matter, but I hate it because if a dude lays an egg, you are thinking about that for 3 whole days.
But what does it matter? Like, this game was on a Sunday night a few weeks ago. As a matter of fact, if you recall, that game wasn't even the original Sunday night game.
Yeah, it got flexed.
It got moved because the Raiders and Tampa were in COVID hell.
Right.
So that got moved to Sunday night, and it was dynamite. Does it matter that the win of the fantasy week is pretty much on the line tonight?
Yes, it is. And I'm like you. I have DeAndre Hopkins and Tyler Lockett in my main league. And now if those guys suddenly underperform, I'm going to be thinking about it Friday,
it's so irrational.
Saturday, Sunday morning, what I could have done, the moves I could have made, the players I could have put in instead. Not that I would ever sit those guys.
The analogy would be an analogy that Susie doesn't like that I make whenever I say this, certainly in front of our children. But, you know, does it matter if you're having this for your side dish and this as your main dish? It's all going to the same place.
Then why not eat dessert first?
No, I'm just saying it's all going to the same place. And she's like, why do you say? I hate that phrase. But in
really
terms
is.
of this, all the points are going to the same place, which is the bottom line when it's all added up on Monday night.
But
Does
so
it
much can
matter
go
that it's
wrong on Thursday, though.
Yeah, but
Or
so much can
tonight.
go right.
I
Like,
know.
think about the hole you put your opponent in. Like, I intend to, because I have Kyler.
Yes.
And I have D-Hop tonight. I intend on putting up, 55, 60 tonight. Put the guy in the hole.
You gotta
But
get
I'm
it.
not
You gotta get
happy
it. Gotta
unless
have it.
I'm
Think like it.
miserable, guys. Like, come on. So I'm just thinking negatively here. Like, if Tyler Lockett only has 3 catches for 38 yards and D-Hop doesn't get any targets until the third quarter again,
And this is, I think, why
I'm going to go nuts.
This is why I think it's so big. I just want to make sure I can confirm this by getting on my app right here. Yep. Tonight in my poker league and in our Alice in Chains league, we're going up against Jerry Cantrell. In my poker league, I'm going against Russ as well. Yes. And Cantrell has got Christian Kirk. I'm telling you, tonight is a huge fantasy football night.
Yeah, it is.
On top of everything I just told you in the real world is how big this game is. Seattle can't lose 3 in a row.
No. They can't. And guys,
I mean, they can, but I mean,
They can.
you
They
don't
can.
want to. Arizona has the chance to grab this brass ring of having the tiebreak over Seattle, similar to the one that New Orleans has over Tampa right now. Now, unfortunately for Arizona, they don't have what the Saints have, which is there's no third team in the NFC South. But the Cardinals in this highly competitive NFC West that may eventually get 3 teams in, because the Bears have fallen off in the NFC North, and I don't think a second team's coming in from the NFC East. The Vikings might be that team on the outside looking in, like
on the rise.
down the stretch they come, like Secretariat, even though I know Secretariat led all the way, wire to wire. But you know what I'm saying, right?
Right.
So big tonight.
There's also going to be some weather tonight, guys.
Is that right?
It's raining in Seattle right now. Around kickoff, it's going to be about 40% chance of rain, 10-mile-an-hour winds. Weird stuff might happen. We know Seattle can't play a normal game, especially in prime time.
I gotta get air yards. I mean, it's that simple. I can't have this down to Kenyon Drake versus Carlos Hyde and DJ Dallas. I mean, we can't have it. Can't have it.
Russ
Won't have
running
it.
around.
But neither of these teams are going to handle that.
No. These
They're gonna be
teams
Kyler-
can't play normal games.
I know, and Kyler Murray, and neither of them can play normal games. Neither of them.
Neither of them.
That's why when they came together,
It was an explosion.
Normally they could cancel each other out. And it's 10-7, but not these teams.
Not these teams.
Oh,
man.
I can't wait for tonight.